The frontier had a way of teaching hard lessons,
Promise me you will be careful.
and no man understood that truth better than Cole Turner. Long before gray dust settled permanently into the cracks of his weathered boots, he had believed that love could survive anything. The prairie had proven otherwise. Years earlier, the woman he had planned to marry disappeared without explanation, leaving behind nothing except unanswered questions and an abandoned engagement ring buried beneath the old cottonwood tree beside his family's ranch. The loneliness that followed became another part of the landscape. Seasons changed, cattle came and went, and neighboring ranches expanded, but Cole remained exactly where grief had left him. The Turner Ranch stretched across thousands of acres, one of the richest properties in Wyoming territory. Its rolling grasslands fed hundreds of cattle, and the mineral-rich creek running through its center made the land even more valuable. That wealth attracted more enemies than friends. Following his father's death, distant relatives began circling like hungry wolves. Land deeds disappeared from locked cabinets. Fence lines were secretly moved during the night. Cattle vanished without tracks. Every act carried the unmistakable scent of betrayal, yet no proof remained behind. Cole trusted no one. His days became routines carved from silence. Sunrise meant repairing fences. Noon meant checking distant grazing fields. Sunset meant returning to an empty ranch house, where every room echoed with memories too painful to revisit. The townsfolk whispered that the Turner bloodline would die with him. Then, during one unusually quiet autumn evening, fate arrived along the dusty road. A young woman approached the ranch carrying little more than a worn leather satchel and determination hidden beneath exhausted eyes. Her pale blue prairie dress had collected miles of trail dust, while loose strands of blonde hair escaped the braid resting upon her shoulders. She carried no weapon, no wagon, and no visible fear. The ranch hands watched suspiciously from the corral. Cole studied her from the porch with the same guarded expression he reserved for strangers. Carrying hidden motives, rumors reached him before sunset. Some claimed she had escaped an abusive ranch owner. Others believed she carried secrets connected to a wealthy family farther east. A few insisted bounty hunters had been asking about a woman matching her description. None of those stories mattered. Cole had already decided she would leave before sunrise. Yet something interrupted his certainty. As darkness settled over the prairie, a violent storm rolled across the mountains. Lightning tore through the sky while freezing rain transformed the dirt road into thick mud. The nearest town sat nearly 40 miles away. Leaving her outside would almost certainly become a death sentence. Duty outweighed distrust. The lonely ranch owner reluctantly allowed the stranger to sleep
inside the old bunkhouse until morning. Neither realized that one small act of mercy had already begun changing both of their lives. Long after midnight, while thunder echoed across the plains, shadowy riders gathered silently beyond the western fence. One carried an old survey map, another carried a rifle. The leader carried a land deed bearing the Turner family name, and hidden beneath his coat rested a letter, revealing the true identity of the mysterious woman. Sleeping only yards away, morning sunlight revealed broken fences along the western pasture. Hoofprints crossed Turner land where no cattle should have traveled, while fresh wagon tracks disappeared into distant hills. The attack had not been random. Someone had carefully tested the ranch's defenses during the night. Cole immediately recognized the warning. Whoever threatened the Turner ranch was preparing for something far larger. The young woman, whose quiet determination contrasted sharply with the growing danger, refused to become another burden. Without asking permission, she helped mend broken fences, gathered frightened horses, and cared for injured livestock. She worked from sunrise until darkness without complaint, expecting nothing in return. Days slowly turned into weeks. The empty ranch no longer felt abandoned. The silence that had once haunted every hallway gradually became peaceful instead of painful. Still, Cole never asked about her past. He understood that scars often spoke louder than words. Unknown to him, enemies were already watching. A ruthless land baron had spent years trying to seize the Turner property through fraud, intimidation, and hired guns. Every forged document, every stolen herd, and every suspicious accident had been carefully planned to force Cole into selling his inheritance. The stranger's arrival complicated everything. The hidden letter revealed that she was the sole surviving heir to another prosperous ranch bordering Turner's land. Her inheritance, combined with Cole's property, would create the largest privately owned ranch in the entire territory. Greed transformed curiosity into obsession. The outlaws no longer wanted only Cole's land. They wanted her signature. One evening, while checking distant grazing fields, the woman disappeared. Her horse returned alone. Cole found broken wagon tracks, scattered fabric from her blue dress, and signs of a violent struggle leading toward Black Rock Canyon. For the first time in years, fear overwhelmed his carefully guarded heart. Every mile he rode into the canyon reminded him of the woman he had failed to save years earlier. This time would be different. The chase became relentless. Smoke rose from abandoned mining camps while vultures circled high above the cliffs. Cole followed every clue left behind by desperate captors moving deeper into outlaw territory. At sunset, he finally reached an abandoned silver mine. Hidden behind weathered timber stood armed
guards protecting prisoners chained inside. Among them stood the woman who had quietly rebuilt not only his ranch but also the broken parts of his soul. She remained calm despite the danger surrounding her. Cole realized then that losing her would destroy him more completely than any stolen land ever could. The abandoned silver mine became the stage where years of greed, betrayal, and hidden ambition finally collided. The outlaw leader believed victory was already certain. Forged land deeds rested inside his saddlebag. Corrupt witnesses waited in town. Armed gunmen surrounded every escape route. Everything had been carefully planned. Everything except the courage born from genuine love. While the outlaws focused entirely on Cole, nearby ranchers quietly gathered beyond the canyon ridge. For years they had witnessed stolen cattle, burned homesteads, and disappearing neighbors, yet fear had kept them silent. Not anymore. Justice finally found its moment. Gunfire echoed through the canyon as ranchers charged downhill. Alongside loyal Turner hands, horses thundered across loose gravel, while frightened outlaws scattered in every direction. The battle remained fierce but brief. Without surprise on their side, the criminals quickly lost control. The forged documents that had nearly stolen, 2 family legacies burned inside. A collapsing campfire. The truth finally replaced deception. Territorial authorities soon uncovered years of fraud involving stolen ranches, falsified surveys, and murdered landowners. Hidden records inside the outlaw camp connected every crime to the same ruthless conspiracy that had haunted the frontier for nearly a decade. The Turner Ranch was officially secured. The neighboring inheritance was restored to its rightful owner. For the first time since his father's death, Cole stood on land no longer threatened by greed, yet the greatest victory had nothing to do with property. As peace slowly returned to the prairie, both hearts remained cautious. The woman never asked Cole to choose between his painful past and the uncertain future. She understood that love could never be demanded. One quiet evening beneath a glowing sunset, standing beside the old cottonwood tree where an abandoned engagement ring had rested for years, she silently accepted whatever path destiny would choose. Her eyes carried neither expectation nor pressure, only quiet understanding. The weight Cole had carried for so many years finally disappeared. He buried the ghosts of yesterday beneath the same prairie that had once witnessed his sorrow. Without hesitation, he chose hope instead of fear. The unspoken promise between them became stronger than any written contract, richer than any inheritance, and more enduring than any frontier legend. The lonely cowboy who had sworn never to love again finally discovered that the strongest people were not those who never broke, but those brave enough to trust after being broken. Across
the endless plains, the Turner Ranch became known not for its wealth, but for the story of 2 wounded souls who defeated betrayal, protected justice, and proved that true love could survive even the harshest frontier. And beneath another golden western sunset, 2 hearts finally found the home they had been searching for all along. The end.